Woo! What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at My Cowboys Family, and of course, hop in the Discord, link for that's in the description box down below. And let me kick things off with a very extra special thank you to the man dropping the pre-stream and the, live and current stream drop, Dwayne Broussard, because it's about to show up on your screen any second now.
Much love to Mr. Top Dog DB Dwayne Broussard with his drops coming through here.
Trying to be a little proactive there.
And also, I want to also say, today's going to be a double-packed show, a double-day show. Yesterday, we, of course, took off. Going to not be here tomorrow on Friday, but we're bringing it all tonight here. Yesterday's information into today's information. And we, wrap it up here on a double stream show here. Appreciate you, Mr. Dwayne Broussard.
Double stream like Dwayne's double drop. With that $2 holler, he said, woo! You know what he said earlier with his $4 holler?
Hit me.
Go Cowboys. Thank you, Dwayne. Appreciate you. Much love. Always go Cowboys.
Always.
And of course, guys, again, we can't just kick things off here without shouting out the people, representing on all sides of the board here, right? Right. So with that said, a huge and extra special shout out to the person, the man, really, who's been rocking it out 3 weeks in a row now as our sponsor of the week.
Much love.
To McLovin.
Yeah, sponsor of the week. 3 weeks back, right? 3 weeks in a row as a sponsor of the week. And not done there. He's got a whole month, 4 weeks in a row as the king of the Cash App. So much love once again to McLovin. Also, big time shout out to Jason Renfro, 74 points in the stream, boss, repping it there. And also, the man staying skeptical. Skeptical fan. He is the king, the champion of the membership gifting board. And he's done it for back-to-back weeks. Last week, and he's got it for basically 2 weeks, and he's going for more. We'll see what happens. I do think he is in the lead this week as well. He's trying to go for a three-peat. So a lot of people repeating, three-peating, four-peating. Appreciate all the people repping the boards.
All the peeps.
Yeah, all the peeping. All the peeps. So I do want to shout out some people from yesterday we skipped yesterday, but there was some After Dark fun. And, I'm going to shout them out and then, kind of give you the leaders for this week. Actually, I'll give you the leaders now. It's the same three people, repping the boards where they're at right now. JD from DC, not JD from DC, but Skeptical Fan is currently in the lead in the gifting board. And we got, of course, McLovin in the lead in the Cash App and the overall board once again. So he's going for 5 in a row in the Cash App. A month of domination as a sponsor of the week. And, hey, we might talk about Mark Hovsepian's record. An all-time record of 15 in a row as a sponsor of the week. And Jason Renfro's 20 in a row as the Cash App King.
Right. Is he trying to come a knocking?
And you never know. I also got to shout out everybody who dropped the love on the After Dark, in the memberships, who jumped back in the memberships, like Amazing Games. Appreciate you. Lincoln Kane in the star level. JD from DC in the Navy Blue crew, as well as Bootzilla in the Navy Blue crew. Appreciate all you guys. On the After Dark side, the man staying skeptical. Skeptical Fan dropped a little love. So did Alice. Grateful Nomad in the house. And McLovin did it again last night. With a bunch of drops to make sure he solidifies his lead on everybody else currently on this board for this week. So on this Thursday night live stream, baby, there's a lot of different ways people can drop the love from above. There's the super chats, as you just saw Dwayne dropping it. You can jump back in the memberships, like I just said, Amazing Games and others. And then you can also gift memberships. And there's also a thanks button. But on the other side, if you want to challenge McLovin, not just for the overall sponsor of the week, but for the Cash App King, there's only certain ways you can do that. And you can see the 4 ways right there, baby. Why don't you let them know the 4 ways they can adjust the overall board, but especially the Cash App side.
You have, of course, the Cash App money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and, of course, last but not least, that Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
And just one last thing. On the monthly, we're doing this monthly jersey raffle. It's for the star and over everything levels of membership. We're also doing the weekly winner. So let's say McLovin this week, we're starting it this week. If he wins, let's just say the sponsor of the week, he gets a raffle entry for the end of the month, March jersey raffle. And if one of you, again, you don't have to be even part of the membership to get into this. Just another way to kind of open it up for those that do give the love on the weekly basis here and give a little back to them as well. Not just on the boards, but also a chance to win a jersey. So just wanted to shout that out. If you're competing for the top spot, if you win it 4 weeks in a row, you may just get 4 additional entries for something like, for example, if McLovin wins 4 weeks in a row this whole month of March, he's in this thing, in this star level and over everything raffle membership, as well as anybody who's in the star level or over everything level. Speaking of, let's shout those names out, baby, because there are a handful of people that's in here right now that represent a major part of our channel when it comes to the membership side of things. So why don't we shout out the over everything crew? The star and over everything.
Of course.
Yes,
Thank you very much to Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Andy Potched, Marissa Sparkle, Dwayne Broussard, The Lunatic, and over everything, Seabass.
And we're going to hear from him probably like sometime next week for the first time, and then probably at the end of the month as well. So stay tuned for that. He is in the over everything, and you get to be on the show when you're in the over everything level in one of our breakdowns here on a nightly shows that we try to do here at the news, info, and updates on our Cowboys. Now that we've gone through all that, let's go through who's in the house tonight, ready to talk some Cowboy football.
Of course.
Right here on MCF.
Shout out to Matt Persico, what's up? Nate Rosario, much love. I can't say we have any particular thoughts on the Godzilla movies, just throwing that out there. Yeah. Rolando Rodriguez, all the way from South Texas.
Hell yeah.
You have 808 Cowboys 77 representing. Mike Aldana, hello and hi. Thanks for rolling with us. Madman saying Jerry's definitely going all in by signing who he signed.
Yeah, he's going Jerry Jones all in, which means the same guys we did last year.
Kathy Martis, thanks for joining us here once more. Appreciate you, of course. Dwayne Broussard, the top dog himself, coming through, rolling through. Thanks for being here. Daniel Berry Sports, much love. Let's see, who else is here? Jason Renfro, of course. Saying, by the way, it's lots of rain on his side of Texas, so...
Yeah. Stay safe
Freedom
out
first
there.
Looks like, hey, you were first. You're going to have to tell me. You're quick on the trigger there, man. Drums and Cowboys, what's up? Puro pinche Cowboys, you already know. Thanks for being here hanging with us. So, baby, I won't make the people wait any longer. Let's, jump into our 2 days worth of Cowboy and NFL news.
Yes, let's start with the NFL. There's a lot of it, actually. Free agency,
very heavily Cowboy adjacent at this time of year.
A little impacts, a lot of impacts from free agency. But before we even get to that, baby, before we get rolling on that, so let's start with the Cowboys.
Okay.
On something that's kind of not really, I guess it is football related, but it's kind of like
football
future related here for Jerry Jones. Let me say why.
All right.
There's an unauthorized Jerry Jones biography.
Oh.
It's coming. If you want to know more about Jerry Jones, you'll have 2 options. You can watch the upcoming Netflix documentary, which was authorized by Jerry Jones. They're working with him there. That was a price of $50 million Jerry got to have Netflix film his everyday going-ons. Nah. We'll be seeing that soon, guys, sometime next year or at the end of this year. But the second way of catching up with Jerry Jones and knowing about him is you can wait for the unauthorized biography of Jerry Jones to be written by Don Van Natta Jr. He's of ESPN. This Jones biography, which carries a working title of The Star. It's going to be published in 2026. It's going to be based on, quote, hundreds of interviews, including dozens of hours of interviews with Jerry Jones.
Wow.
9 years ago, Van Natta, he wrote a lengthy profile of Jerry Jones for ESPN.com. And he actually announced it today, this author. He said, quote, some news, quote, I'm writing a book about Jerry Jones called The Star. My book will trace Jerry Jones' remarkable life story and the astonishing rise of the NFL. Thrilled to be back in Jerry's world, coming in 2026.
I mean,
so you have
what's so bad about that?
Well, no, I'm just saying. Well, I'll tell you in a minute. But
I know. I'm just saying, like, so far, so good.
Documentary camera crews followed him around, for Netflix this past year, and all around the Star and the Cowboy headquarters. That's going to be on Netflix, and now it's going to be interesting. Kind of you're going to see the Jerry Jones story. Right, told by him, and if you want to get this book and read it, it's going to give you the other side of the story, the side of the story that Jerry won't tell you about, that kind of between the lines kind of things, the behind the scenes. I'm definitely interested in that. You're getting the Netflix version of things, which is the authorized kind of Jerry Jones story, and then you get this book that is the unauthorized Jerry Jones story. You can kind of mix them together, and the truth is somewhere in between. So either way. That's
I'm
coming
sure
around the corner.
I'm sure it'll still reveal or have some kind of interesting insight on Jerry.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to find some interesting stuff when that comes out, when that book comes out. Now, that kind of plays into what I'm going to talk about next, and it will play into a lot more later, but Netflix is also doing something with Jerry Jones at AT&T Stadium, and you guys probably already heard of it. Netflix, along with most valuable promotions, they're partnering on the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight. Yes, it's happening. Believe it or not, the old 58-year-old, 57-year-old, 6-year-old Mike Tyson, who last was seen holding a cane of some sort, going against Jake Paul, the YouTube idiot. So they're going to be fighting on a global live sports event to stream exclusively on Netflix. It's going to be on Saturday, July 20th, and I will be watching.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but so am I.
We'll all be watching. So this live professional sports event will take place at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. He's already putting out the selling posters, showing the social posts all over the place, and signing up for pre-sale tickets. You can do that now. So they're teaming up, guys. They're going to have the problem child, Jake El Gallo Paul.
El Gallo? That's really... Oh, my God.
And he's 9-1 with 6 KOs. And then the baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson. 50 wins, 6 losses, 44 KOs. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson stream live globally on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, you don't have to pay-per-view it. You just got to have Netflix. It's going to be broadcast from the 80,000-plus seat capacity, our AT&T Arlington Stadium, of course, the home of our Cowboys. But my point here is, and we'll talk more about culture in a little bit, the culture. The culture is what it's a Netflix with this fight. It's Netflix following him around. It's now an unauthorized biography going around about Jerry Jones. It's just this clown show. This is the circus that Jerry loves. And this is why the Cowboys, that's why you're going to hear what Dalton Schultz said. You'll be like, is he accurate about this? Well, let's talk about it, because Dalton Schultz was interviewed yesterday on what was it, the Pat McAfee show, if I'm not mistaken. I did upload the video. If you guys missed it, you can check it out after the stream, hopefully. But former Dallas Cowboy tight end, now Texans tight end, where's Eastside at? Dalton Schultz described the locker room environment at the Star. He did this yesterday at Wednesday on the Pat McAfee show, basically saying that there's people going in and out of tours. If you're lifting weights, you can't see them on the other side. They're like a zoo. That's the brand that Jerry Jones wanted to be built like this, and it adds concern to the culture. Again, I'm not saying it's all gonna be like distracting in the issue. These guys play in front of thousands, millions of people over the course of a season, right? Or tens of thousands of people every week. But when you're focusing on your craft, trying to focus in your office, you got people banging on the windows and stuff. It's kind of distracting. That's what Dalton Schultz said. And he wasn't really talking about the culture, but I'm saying, and I want to hear the full context quote, a lot of these things are with the circus, the stuff that's going around AT&T Stadium, the Star, Jerry Jones, the players at the Star, the tours. And I love the tours because we have a history that deserves that tour. But it's the Jerry Jones way. The circus continues, and that may be the biggest issue on why we're not, getting more wins in the playoffs and in Super Bowls than anything else the Cowboys are doing, starting with Jerry Jones. But what did Dalton Schultz say about the situation? McAfee on the show, he asked him, you're on national TV every week. Practice facility is filled with people paying for tickets for practice. It's a whole different world in Dallas, allegedly. Obviously, you enjoy your time in Dallas. I'm not going to say that you didn't. But when you get to Houston, the Texans, it's vastly different from your time in Dallas. Whenever you're talking about all of the off the field stuff, is that real? But Dalton Jerry Jones and Jerry World, what did Dalton Schultz say?
For sure, that was one of the first things that kind of stuck out to me. Is like it feels like much more. I don't want to say college because it's not, but the focus is just football. You know what I mean? Going back and telling some people how kind of being around the Cowboys, like practice facility and, game day, describing some of the interactions and stuff that you see on a day-to-day basis, like surprised a lot of people. They're like, holy crap, that actually happened at a practice facility? You think it's normal, and then you come to a place like this.
Which is Houston, he's saying, right?
Yeah.
But Kevin kept asking about him, like, you don't have to out anything, but what are you talking about? Like what?
A place like this is in like what?
Yeah.
So Schultz said, quote, there's people literally going on tours while you're lifting in the weight room. And they've got a one-way mirror for people to look at. It's literally like a zoo, dude. There's people tapping on the glass, trying to get people's attentions as they're doing power cleans or whatnot. It's different. That's the brand that they've built. That's what Jerry Jones likes. That's the way that they run things, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, you don't realize how many eyeballs, and how much that can maybe distract from stuff just in a locker room being in the facility. Until you go somewhere else and you're like, holy crap, dude, there's none of that. This is also a really well-run organization in Houston. I think that was one of the things that kind of scared me about leaving Dallas the most is I wasn't sure what another organization would kind of feel like. And dude, I got here and I was like, this place is a well-oiled machine. Coaching staff, the coaching changes, I can't speak to the previous stuff. The strength staff is phenomenal. The training staff is unbelievable.
Well, that's great. But you know what that sounds like to me? And again, I'm not saying he's wrong. I know, baby, we've been on tours.
We have.
Somebody commented, that's us, MCF and MCW on the tour, We've seen players running around there. We see, we're interacting there almost not with the players, but you're interacting in their space. So I understand how this could be distracting to the players. But I also got to say this, and even though it's part of the culture and it's part of the issue, I think, sounds a little bit like Dalton Schultz, a little bit upset. I know he complained about the way he was tagged and the way his contract was treated. I think that he got pissed because they didn't meet his demands on that tag year. And then after that, they brought in Ferguson to basically, replace him. So he knew he was on the way out. So I'm saying, I think that's more of what Dalton Schultz is almost the anger from him, maybe not being treated right by the Cowboys, whatever it may be.
I mean, you have to also imagine that he's bothered by being so easily replaced because let's be real, we moved on from him and we haven't really thought about him since in that sense, right? He hasn't really been missed as much as I think he was expecting to be missed. Yeah. So, sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, bye-bye Schultz. But here's the thing I got to also say, and to be fair with the Cowboys, perspectives. All right? The Texans right now, if you look at their organization, it was not well run under Bill O'Brien recently. I know he said he's not talking about that, but very recently, this is not a very good organization 2 years ago.
To be fair, though, that's kind of his whole point. He's like, it could have been the world's shittiest organization beforehand, but since I got here, it's been good. Right. And he can't deny that, since he has gone on the Texans, the Texans have, obviously vastly improved. Well, and are, at least trending in the right direction.
The team, the way the team plays is one thing, but it's more about the organization, right? He's talking about this organization is run so smoothly.
He did mention that specifically.
Well-oiled organization. Bill O'Brien and then was fired Houston fired back-to-back coaches after 1 year. That's not a very well-run organization. Also, they helped set up, Watson's massages. So not the best organization there in Houston. Let's be real about it. But I also want to make one last point about the tours.
Okay.
Cowboys got 5 on it, right? Texans are new. Even the Houston Oilers didn't have shit. They have no history. We have history. So at this point, for the Houston Texans, there is currently no history or tradition to market for tours. We got history, we got tradition, we got legendary stuff.
Come to our practice fields.
I'm just, you know what I'm saying though,
but that's my point. Like, what exactly are you going to show on the tour?
There's nothing in Houston's history. The Texans, they beat Dallas their opening game ever. Whoop-de-fucking-do. You don't make a tour for that.
Yeah, it's not every team that has the type of history that the Cowboys have. That's just a fact.
And really, most teams that have been around a little longer than the Texans. So Dalton Schultz doesn't realize he's still at the birth of this Texans team. It's not really. They don't have any history tours or any distractions, and they still suck most of the time. Just saying. So, look, culture is an issue. There's no question in Dallas about the issues there. What was it on Get Up on ESPN? What's Ryan Clark, who we really like, his analysis of the Cowboys said, quote, "It's not that the Cowboys don't have a culture that can't foster winning. It's that they have an entitlement that can't foster consistency in the biggest moments." And he's right. So a lot of that,
and that's the point, because we've seen this team do great things several times, right? But man, every time we're put up on that big moment on the big stage, we just fall flat on our faces.
Yeah, and that's what Ryan Clark was referring to. He's right. Be honest about that.
And yes, we do have Jera Jones right here in the chat, right? So
ask him what you want.
Thank you very much for joining us here. By the way, he said $20 is extra. You can feed the players by hand with protein powder. So there you go. They can munch it out of your hands like little I almost said baby birds, but no, if they're munching, it's like little cows, goats, goats. I know what goats. There you go, like little baby goats. So, Pioneer said the Houston Texans 2019 are all anyone can refer to.
There is nothing in their history. They got no history, no tours.
Asmodi said they don't even have 3 12-win seasons, so he's talking horseshit with the distraction.
Exactly. That's the main thing in the end.
Sorry, bullshit.
Horseshit, bullshit, shit.
All shit.
Exactly. Now, how are the Cowboys going to fix their shit? It's going to be obviously the all-in bullshit. They ain't no all-in. It's going to be through the draft. That's the way the Cowboys always do it. All in. Jerry knows it's the draft. But the draft currently, guys, is now 50 days away. Actually, it's 49 days away. Not far. A month and a half. We're at the draft. I mean, that's how this is rolling here, guys. So, Jerry and company, be ready. Because this is where the Cowboys, the only way the Cowboys really get better or can make a little jump on their roster is through the draft, the way the Cowboys have always handled this shit. And even though I agree with free agency to be utilized, it's there to be utilized, we need to do that more often, and we're not. So, just so you guys know, the draft in 49 days, the viewership for the Scouting Combine, which just happened this past week in Indianapolis, it reached over 5 million viewers on the NFL Network. It was the most watched combine on the NFL Network since 2018.
Oh, damn.
And the coverage of receivers, running backs, and the quarterbacks, receivers, and running back drills was the most watched combine day 3 on NFL Network. It's a record. So a lot of people really watching the more of the combines, seeing and knowing what the players are doing out there on the field. Now, you guys remember that that playoff game, the Frostbite playoff game? I'll do it right off of that here because we're switching it up here back to the playoffs this past year. You guys remember all of the fans in the stands, kind of, I'll say half naked, but they were lightly dressed.
Yes.
And they were
showing off their Kansas City best.
Yeah. Well, a medical director at the Grossman Burn Center at Research Medical Center says that 70% of patients from this game that came in for referred to for frostbite injuries suffered during that bitter cold game in January. Pretty sure was that the Dolphin game? I don't know.
Was it a playoff game?
I think it was a Dolphin game. Yeah. That game, all the way in January. Now they're scheduling amputations for a lot of those people that are at that game. So again, a majority of these people that are having amputations are the ones who attended that extra the third coldest game in history, right? And they're losing parts of their body now.
I know. I'm sorry. Just Jara in the chat said amputated nipples. So and yes, that comment very clearly caught me off guard. So you were saying, baby, I'm sorry. No,
just saying. That's an unfortunate situation there, for these fans that went all out and then now lost a couple of body parts. But when we look at the players in free agency, I'm going to go through some names here, some situations, some teams.
Okay.
I want to know what you think. So, Drew Tranquill. No, it's not a medication. But this guy's a linebacker for the Chiefs who was going to be a free agent. It was a name that you guys had called out as a possible fit for the Cowboys at linebacker. And I'm kind of like, I agree to an extent. Like, this guy could be someone we can look at, right? Don't worry about it. It ain't happening. Why? The Chiefs today and their linebacker, Drew Tranquill, are reaching an agreement on a new contract. So he's staying in Kansas City. So my question is, how much is a linebacker like him costing? The Chiefs are giving Drew Tranquill a 3-year, $19 million deal. It's not that bad. You're looking at about, what, $6 million? A little over 6?
Honestly, that works out pretty good.
And he's an off-ball linebacker, which is what we're looking for. We might get a guy that's maybe a little lesser than him even in name. Or maybe a little older, like a Bobby Wagner. That could still be gotten for less. Or in that range. Let's say not Bobby Wagner would be a little more probably, but being that, $5 to $8 million range for a linebacker, free agent wise, Drew Tranquill got $19 million for 3 years and $13 million is fully guaranteed. Now, another player the Cowboys, we've discussed here, can we go after this guy? Would the Cowboys even dare go after him? Cornerback L'Jarius Sneed. The Chiefs placed a franchise tag on him. And they're trying to trade him, but it's seeming like it's going to be unlikely he's going to stay in Kansas City. He's been given permission to seek a trade. The Chiefs have heard from 7 teams that are interested. The Vikings, the Colts, the Titans, the Patriots, the Lions, the Falcons, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not the Cowboys. Just so you guys know, Snead is not in the running for the Cowboys. Now, another player was signed today, 3-time Pro Bowl tight end, Zach Ertz, or yesterday. He's signing with the Washington Commanders. Back in the NFC East. Going from, with the Eagles, went to the Cardinals, now back in the NFC East with the Commanders. He reached a 1-year deal worth up to $5 million. So they got a pretty cheap deal for Zach Ertz there. But again, how good is Zach Ertz at this point in his career? He's definitely not the same he was, and he's reuniting with Cliff Kingsbury in Washington, who is now the offensive coordinator there.
Yeah, it feels like we're trying to get the last, bit of juice out of an orange or something there.
You mean Washington, not us. At least at us.
I don't mean we, like us specifically.
All right. I just
fine, continue.
I just didn't know. I hope that we have the Commanders. So when it comes to special teams, kicker. I know you're always interested in that because Brandon Aubrey, we got to pay him eventually a little bit more money down the line, right? So Texans, we just talked about them. Their kicker, Kayami Fairbairn, have agreed to an extension. Pretty solid kicker for them. He got a 3-year deal worth $15.9 million. I mean, shit, he's getting like $3.5 million less than that Drew Tranquill, a linebacker, right? So a big deal there for Fairbairn. Makes him the 4th highest paid kicker right now. So Aubrey's going to fall somewhere in that range.
Well,
now,
he's
he earned it.
Deserve it. And
I agree.
Yeah.
And you know how bad it is when you have a kicker. So Aubrey better be, retained and however they need to do this. Now, before free agency, now these are some signings, right? Before free agency begins next week, some things are happening here. We got less than a week before free agency hits. The Broncos have given soon-to-be-released quarterback Russell Wilson permission to immediately, like right now, start speaking with and meeting with other teams in their home cities. So for Russell Wilson, his free agency already started now. The Steelers are the team that came to the forefront here. The Steelers are the team that's currently most interested in signing Russell Wilson. And right now there's a tentative plan to meet with the former Bronco and Seattle quarterback before the start of free agency. Wilson he said he has interest in joining the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we'll probably be watching that story continue with Pittsburgh trying to get Russell Wilson. Steelers at the same time, they announced that they're releasing a safety. And for our team, he used to play for us at linebacker. It's funny, Marquise Bell, safety linebacker. You guys remember Keanu Neal?
I mean, yeah.
He was at the Steelers this year, and he was released from the Steelers because he basically with the designation of a failed physical. So he's not even healthy enough to really play right now. He was released by the Steelers. But my point of bringing this up is, do you remember when Dan Quinn played Keanu Neal at linebacker in Dallas? So to me, in 2 out of 3 years, he used a safety to play linebacker on this defense. With Marquise Bell this year, out of necessity, and then we're using Keanu Neal in his first year with Dallas, he used him at linebacker. So and it was a scheme choice. It was a scheme situation, not necessarily a player lacking situation. It was Dan Quinn liked to use bigger safeties at the linebacker hybrid position kind of deal.
So it was more of a Dan Quinn preference,
right?
Type of thing?
That's what it sounds like to me.
It's good to know.
Don't think it's gonna be a preference for Zimmer. So that's where a little change is gonna happen there. Now, let's go to some new deals that were signed. Tyrann Mathieu, floating around out there, getting a new deal with the Saints. It's going to keep him with the Saints for 2 more years. The next 2 years, the Saints sign him up. The Saints keep one of their most important players. He gets a 2-year deal, $13 million. Not that much for someone like Tyrann Mathieu, although he's a little older now.
I was going to say, yeah, he's at a certain point in his career.
Yeah,
so.
But again, they're staying with the Saints 2 more years. And listen, for what? $7.5 million? No, $6.5 million? That's not bad. You got a starting, safety corner, defensive back. Speaking of a starting corner. One of my favorite guys that were free agents this year. I knew we were going to get him, and plus he was franchise tagged, was the Bears cornerback Jalen Johnson. And today, not only was he franchise tagged yesterday or 2 days ago, today he reached an agreement on a 4-year, $76 million deal. This is important to note, though, not just because we like him and we want him in Dallas or whatever. I know he wasn't going to be affordable to Dallas. $76 million, guys, is what he got on a 4-year deal. You can do the calculations and the math. But he's getting $43.8 million guaranteed at signing, and he's getting $28 million in his pocket in the first year of the contract. So he hit a home run there, staying in Chicago. One of the best cornerbacks in the league without question. But let me just say this, and I don't even know what the numbers are here. 76 divided by 4. I mean,
I'm just trying to know. You wanted me to actually do that.
But this one when we get to
$19 million a year.
$19 million a year for Jalen Johnson, which is, again, he is worth top dollar. But this is why I said last year it was so important that we get Trayvon Diggs' deal done. We had to get Diggs' deal done last year, and because we did that, well, we saved a couple million a year. So, that we knew was a good move. That's why I keep telling you guys, the sooner we sign our guys,
the better.
The better it's going to be for this team, for the salary cap, for all the bitching and whining people do out there.
Which is why it's super bizarre that, the current rumor circulating is that the Cowboys are somehow going to delay Dak's major contract situation until next year. That seems like a very foolish thing to do.
Yeah, I agree. And you talk about going all in, which Jerry Jones is bullshitting, but the Bills kind of went all in some ways. The Bills, yeah. And they didn't get the championship. They didn't get the win, right? They didn't get the win tonight. But they had to pay the piper today, so to speak. I'll explain. First, they let their starting center go. I'll explain that in a minute. But the word after that who's going to be their center, the Bills are planning to move former Cowboy Connor McGovern, who they signed and started every game, I think, from them at guard last year. I think he's getting $7 million a year for 3 years. They're moving him to center. So Connor Williams came from the Cowboys at guard and moved, and he went to Miami, became one of the top centers. Now he's a free agent. But Connor Williams went from guard to center. We couldn't do that. And he's one of the better ones in the league in Miami. Now he's a free agent. Connor McGovern went to the Bills a year at guard. Now he's at center, it looks like, for the next 2 years or so. So, I mean, other teams make it work. Somehow we can't get it going. I don't know. The Bills also agreed to sign Mitch Trubisky. Yeah, he's returning to Buffalo. He was with the Steelers, right? They cut him to give him an early shot to find his next team before free agency officially began. And he did that today by signing with the Buffalo Bills, going back to Buffalo. But, we were in talks. Now it's officially a done deal. So they're adding, they're moving Connor McGovern around. They added Trubisky. And then they also added another Buffalo Bills, the guy they attained, I guess, last year, and he was a free agent. The Bills reached an agreement with their safety, Taylor Rapp, on a 3-year deal worth $14.5 million. We're talking about what? A little over $3.75 million a year, four little over $4 million a year. So you can see some of these deals. Taylor Rapp at safety, who it's not the best in the league, but he's still more than serviceable.
Very good.
He's only getting under $5 million a year as a starting safety. So you got to pick and choose where you want to attack sometimes, The Bills then talked to Von Miller. They were going to cut him. He agreed to a renegotiated contract. The deal has a base value now of $8.855 million in 2024, a chance to make up to $20 million with incentives in this season. Again, that went up from only having $17.5 million in incentives to $20 million in incentives he can reach. But this move saves Buffalo $8.645 million this year in cap space. And then they are going to restructure cornerback Rasul Douglas's contract and saving another $2.5 million against the cap. So you can see they're making moves. They're signing guys. They're signing Trubisky, a backup. They're signing Rappa, starting safety for on a cheaper move there. Restructuring Von Miller, restructuring Rasul Douglas, moving Connor McGovern around, and then they released players. Crazily, they released players. Mitch Morse was their starting center. He is gone. He was due $8.5 million in salary. He's a free agent now after 5 years in Buffalo. He was a 2022 Pro Bowl selection. He's a free agent. Kind of reminds you of Biotish a little bit. The Bills released all-pro safety Jordan Poyer. Another all-pro safety out there. The free agent safety market is growing. Other guys leaving Buffalo. Bills releasing two-time Pro Bowl cornerback Tre'Davious White. Big player for them. He's out. This is when the cap hits, guys. Buffalo is going to designate him as a post-June 1st cut, which saves the Bills $10.2 million in salary cap space, and it leaves them with $6.2 million in dead money. But his contract will remain on Buffalo's books until then, but he's a free agent to sign with a new team as early as next week. So the Bills cut safety Jordan Poyer, center Mitch Morse. They also cut cornerback Syrian Neal, wide receiver Deontay Hardy, returner, running back Naheem Hines. We talked about him. All these cuts are creating about $26 million in cap space for them. They enter today $40 million over the cap. So they're almost there. They're about $15 million away from being under the cap. You talk about issues on the cap, guys. They got real big issues. So that's Buffalo's moves. You're looking at other teams and corners and safeties. Look at safety. Broncos releasing their former All-Pro safety, Justin Simmons. Another safety, a big-name guy out there in free agency. After 8 years in Denver, they're moving on from Simmons, who went to the Pro Bowl last year. So he's still a viable player, but he's going to save the Broncos $14.5 million against their salary cap. Simmons has been incredibly durable in his NFL career. I just don't see him. The Cowboys like this guy. I just don't see him coming to Dallas. Plus, you've seen his game every year steadily decrease over the last few years. So you're getting a declining guy who's not the guy he used to be at safety. So everyone likes Justin Simmons, but I would say let's not jump over that too fast. I think the Cowboys are not going to spend big money this offseason. And again, when it comes to safety, you got Malik Hooker on our team. You got Donovan Wilson on our team. You got Marquise Bell on our team. You got Dwanye Thomas on the team. You got Israel Mukuamu on the team. I just think we have enough safeties that, and we're only going to use 2 this year, not 3. Yeah. So I think we have enough safeties. We don't have to go out there and spend big money on a safety. But there are a lot of really good safeties right now on the free agent market. Listen to this. Justin Simmons, Jordan Poyer, Jamal Adams, Kevin Byard, Quandre Diggs, Rashawn Jenkins, and Eddie Jackson. All these guys. Fantastic safety talent out there. Reminds me of the running back talent. It's the same thing in the safety spot right now.
Again, we're in a surprisingly lucky position where there's a ton of free agents available at several positions of need. And when I say positions of need, I don't just mean like this. No, I'm talking like some of the top places where we're looking for guys at because it's that necessary. So,
but safety's not one of them.
No, but just throwing it out there in a general sense, like. Doesn't matter where we turn, and specifically, I guess, overall more defensively than anything, but there's definitely still a few offensive free agents that we're kind of looking at.
But when you stay on defense for a second, actually, you stay on offense for a second. I talked about safeties piling up. There are a lot of good names there in the safety free agent market. Same thing at running back. Who's the top name in the running back free agent market? The top name is Saquon Barkley. So, a reason I'm mentioning him now is because the Eagles today, and some of you guys maybe said this, the Eagles and Saquon Barkley are sharing a, quote, mutual interest as free agency begins. So the Eagles looks like they might be making a move for Saquon Barkley. Hey, pay them the money. I don't care.
I know Philly kind of made a little comment earlier saying like, do you think the Eagles are doing that just to kind of scare the Cowboys or something? Gonna repeat what I said in the chat. No, I personally don't think so. As far as I'm aware, we never had any serious interest in Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys not looking to. They don't even have an interest in Derrick Henry. They're not even looking to spend that much money. So, Cowboys right now seem to be, Derrick Henry's working out in Dallas. That'd be like a guy you could talk to. He has a girlfriend. We'll talk about it in a minute with Derrick Henry, but that would seem more of a realistic option. The Cowboys aren't talking to anybody except for one guy, and he's on our thumbnail today. I'll talk about that in a minute. But anyways, the Eagles are not. They're thinking about Saquon in free agency, but what about another cornerback? Yes, they are officially releasing cornerback Avonte Maddox after 6 years with the Eagles. He had a $9.6 million salary cap hit for this year. The two sides, they do want to try to keep him. They're looking for a reunion, but they got to now deal with free agency as a factor here. Veteran defensive backs. We're talking about safeties and corners that are now been released this offseason. Xavier Howard, cornerback. Tre'Davious White. Eddie Jackson, Kevin Byard, Jordan Poyer, Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs, J.C. Jackson, Darius Williams, Rashawn Jenkins, and now Avonte Maddox. Some of the NFL's biggest defensive names in the back end of things, the corners and safeties. I would say the biggest defensive names over the last couple of years. A little older, these guys, they're now all free agents, ready to be scooped up and signed. Now, there's a lot, to me, this is good for our cornerback situation. Because we're looking for one cornerback here still, and Stephon Gilmore is going to be thrown into this mix. Stephon Gilmore is
not like a guarantee that he's like, right?
As far as what?
That Gilmore is coming back?
We don't know.
That's what I just said. It's not a guarantee.
And what I'm trying to say is that the fact that we have Gilmore as an option, and the Cowboys seem to be interested in him, but it's more of whether we sign Gilmore or not. The point is that we have 10 guys out there that play corner or safety that are, and half of these guys are cornerbacks that already have kind of getting more names into the pot. It's going to make his value go down, money wise. If he was going to be $10 million, it might be $8 million now because there's so many other options out there. So that's the thing when it comes to, that's the good news. That's how these free agents, whether they've been signed and you see the money value they're getting, you can make a kind of a comparison to our guys, or they're getting released and now they're flooding the market. That lowers the cost of cornerbacks and safeties and running backs. That's a good thing for the Cowboys. It's happened at linebacker too, as we heard when we started off with Drew Tranquill. At $6.6 million, a little over $6 million. That's affordable with someone a little, that for the Joneses, they're going to go a little under that.
Oh, yeah.
We can get that, though. So, again, when you look at the corners and safeties, listen to this, baby. The NFL defensive players with the most interceptions all the way back since 2016. A lot of these guys have been in the league since 2016 that I just referred to. Justin Simmons has 30 interceptions since 2016. Xavier Howard has 29. Kevin Byard has 28 interceptions. And J.C. Jackson has 26. All four of these guys are currently free agents in the NFL right now. A lot of ball hawks, a lot of interceptions available to be scooped up to make teams better. And that's going to start next week, free agent frenzy time. Now, I want to make sure as we get to the Cowboys-specific stuff here, a lot of GMs out there are approaching this free agency as the running backs, as the linebackers, as the safety markets are going to either stay the same or go down compared to the past. This is great for us because, listen, that means lower deals than you can imagine for these positions, linebacker, running back, and safety. So a depressed market for those three positions. A lot of one-year deals for linebackers, running backs, and safeties. And I'm stressing this because 2 of the 3, running backs and linebackers, are what we need. So it's going to be cheaper to get a running back or a linebacker or safety this offseason for free agents. You see what I'm saying? Flooding the market.
To me, the linebacker one is the one where you have to look at the most. Like, not trying to downplay the importance of running back. Obviously, we can figure something out at safety. Not against it. But, man, if we can get a linebacker, a high-quality linebacker, for a much more reasonable price, please, please, please.
Bobby Wagner.
Do it yesterday.
1-year deal. That's all we need. So, hey, we got the first. I guess we had another drop in here. I think, but
yeah,
the first
Dwayne Broussard kicked it off officially.
Yeah, but the first in-stream, like in-stream drop, middle stream drop here. Brandon J. 2024 with that $2 holler. What did he say, baby?
He said, Darren Waller still considering retirement.
Yeah, I talked about that last week. And I didn't kind of touch on it this week, but yeah, he's still kind of debating on that. I just think that he's kind of made his choice. He's staying, but he still kind of made it official. So we'll see what happens. But I consider retirement or not, he's ain't going to do anything to us with the Giants and their shitty offensive line and Daniel Jones. So I don't care. Let him play. I hope he's well and he plays, and we'll beat their ass again. But yeah, he might not retire. We'll have to. I think he's not going to retire, guys. That's what I think. But he is still contemplating it, according to a lot of sources out there. So we'll see what ends up happening. I believe he'll stay and play at least one more year. We'll see what happens. He's still young. So appreciate you, Brandon J. And you take Jason Renfro down to 72 points in the stream, boss. Appreciate you. So with all these depressed markets for running backs, linebackers, and safeties, we care about our positions. You know, a big part of this is the cash portion of things. NFL team cash spending. And I know this is difficult to maybe, it's even difficult for me to understand sometimes, but when you have a lot of cash spending, money, actual cash in your hands, you can manipulate the salary cap to maximize your chances to win now. and spend a little more cash. This is the all-in thing, and listen, we know they're not going to do it, but this is my point. Listen to this, baby. The last 3 years that the NFLPA posts these numbers about, we are number one almost all the time as having the most cash currently available right now. So when you add up the last 3 years, right, the Cowboys spent the third fewest amount of money. Over the last 3 years, the third least amount of actual cash over the last 3 seasons.
Not surprising.
Only 2 teams behind them, the only 2 teams that spent less than them, the Packers and the Saints. You say, well, why? Both these guys had large quarterback dead cap hits in that time frame. You know, we had not a dead cap hit on Dak Prescott. We had a $27 million cap hit. No, we didn't hit the dead money yet on Dak, but they hit their dead money. That's why the Packers and Saints, you know, they couldn't use that cash to manipulate they couldn't manipulate the salary cap side of things. But the Cowboys, who right there don't have a big cap hit, a dead cap hit there. Zeke, $6 million. So I'm just saying, my point is, the Cowboys, they don't have an excuse on this to why didn't they spend that cash. The Cowboys are literally, over the last 3 years, by far one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest. The third cheapest. But probably the cheapest when you look at the fact that they didn't have any major dead cap hits, dead money hits. The Cowboys are the cheapest team in the last 3 years. Probably the cheapest team in a while, but definitely, for sure, the cheapest cash money team. That's what matters. When it comes to moving the salary cap, it's supposed to be done by Stephen Jones. You're supposed to be good at this. You're supposed to take this cash and manipulate it around so you can, basically shove more money away and make more money now. That is the purpose of this. We have the third most money to use, and the Cowboys, over the last 3 years, the Cowboys hardly move it, hardly use it. And by doing this, guys, it creates the quarterback contract issue bigger. And what I'm trying to say is basically what this all means is the pie is a lie. The pie is a lie. The Cowboys are choosing to not spend the pie. That's the key here, guys. It's not the quarterback contract. The Cowboys spent $100 million in cash less over the last 3 years. $100 million less than the Eagles, who are 10th on this list. We are 30th on this list. You know what I'm saying? As far as spending money. We don't spend any of our cash money to manipulate the salary cap. And then they blame the players for ruining the cap. Guys, it's pretty simple here, all right? It's a we're right now allowing a massive competitive disadvantage happen to the Cowboys because of Stephen Jones, Stephen Jones. They are choosing to not take advantage of this. The Cowboys are cheap and Stephen Jones sucks. That's what this tells me. He doesn't know how to manipulate the cap. He doesn't know how to use the cash spendings. He's saving his family money, but he's not using that money that's available now to pay players that would make us win now. That is, my friends, the last 3 years we're doing this. The last 3 years got 12-5. Imagine if the front office would have put in a little bit of cash flow into any of our teams the last 3 years. It would be a better. I guarantee you guys, a difference maker. That's why, in the end, and they will continue to get blamed because that's who is to blame. In the end, the facts, the foundation, it's the clown show. Jerry Jones started it. Stephen Jones is running it, and they both are complicit in this, in the failing of the star. They're the clown show, and that's facts. See Snug X joining the show with a dollar holler. Go Cowboys. You know he does.
Always go Cowboys.
Yeah. So, anyways, that is the Cowboys cash spending numbers. So, what are the Cowboys going to do at running back? Derrick Henry, for example. Again, if you watch the shorts today, you'll see him working out again, doing some crazy work. I mean, the guy works out insanely, right? Derrick Henry. But
I am personally a fan of the Derrick Henry move, if it happens.
But again, he's just working out in Dallas, not for Dallas.
I didn't say
I know. I'm just saying that he's working out in Dallas. A lot of people are like, "We're going to sign him." I'm like, "Calm down. We're not signing him yet. I don't. The Cowboys aren't even talking to him yet." But people are taking and running with something else here when it comes to Derrick Henry. Today there was a post out there, video. Derrick Henry buying a house in Dallas. So of course YouTube, Cowboy delusionals go crazy, and I'm like, let's reel it back a little bit because. Again, today, the agent, the real estate agent that sold his home to Derrick Henry in Dallas, said that I sold the biggest home in price and the size of my career to the biggest person I know, the number one running back in the NFL, Derrick Henry. Now, that's what this real estate agent posted. Somebody else posted it's a $5 million home he's buying, right, in Dallas. And then making a joke, so I'm hearing like, Stephen Jones, that's perfect. Stephen Jones is giving $5 million to play in Dallas. In fact, we had said Derrick Henry probably will get no more than $5 million at most, at least from the Cowboys, or maybe in the NFL. So Derrick Henry, a $5 million home, will he get a $5 million contract in Dallas? We can talk about it all day long, but here are the facts, guys. He lives in Dallas. All right, he already had a house in Dallas. All right, Derrick Henry has had a house in Dallas for years. For years, he's had a home in Dallas. He just bought another home, probably selling the old one. I don't know. But he has had a house in Dallas for years. He trains in Dallas every offseason, as you guys we talked about that this offseason. And his girlfriend is from Texas as well, so they're all there. It's a family thing, right? It's home. For him, this is home. Dallas. Doesn't mean he's going to play in Dallas. Just means it's home for him. So to me, I would love to see Derrick Henry in the mix of things. The Cowboys haven't spoken to him yet, and he's working out in Dallas, buying a house in Dallas. That's his girlfriend's from Texas. That's great. He trains every year in Texas. He trains every year in Dallas. He lives in Dallas. Anyways, already had a home in Dallas. So this changes nothing as far as the Derrick Henry thing. And I believe the clown show will continue to do clown show shit, not even look at him. Now, as I've said in the past, guys, there is a signing for the Cowboys. Defensive tackle today or yesterday. PFF kind of reviewed what would be the perfect free agent move for the Cowboys to pull off this offseason. And it's the guy that I said is number one on my list. Grover Stewart, formerly of the Colts, the nose tackle for the Colts. This guy is a run-stopping monster maker there. Dallas has a lot of decisions to make on Gallup, and cutting him, getting more money, of Dak and his extension, other extensions, of course. But we got to improve our run defense. That is really the big letdown of the playoffs of this defense. Let's be real. And that is why, without question, I've said this in the past. I think I've said this 25,000 times already in the last month. But the Cowboys, you want to improve the run defense, you got to start with the nose tackle. And Mozzie's losing weight. We hope he gets the weight back, but he ain't ready to go in there and play. Hankins is a free agent. We haven't looked his way yet. Cowboys want to go cheap. And they're probably not going to make this move either, because Grover Stewart's going to be expensive. He's going to be $8 to $10 million easy, maybe more. But he's earned at least a 65 run grade defense in all 7 years of his career. DeMarcus Lawrence was the only Cowboy defensive lineman with at least a 70 in the run defense run grade this year. I mean, so what I'm trying to say is DeMarcus Lawrence is by far our best defensive run stopper. This guy would be better than him, and he's doing it from the inside. So we'd have DeMarcus Lawrence on the outside, Grover Stewart on the inside. That would also not only help them, it would also help your linebackers in this Zimmer scheme. So that's the guy. That's the reason why I've been saying this guy's name, Grover Stewart, over and over and over again. And now PFF, with their analytics, say this is the perfect move for the Cowboys to make, to sign this guy. But don't hold your breath. Cowboys did sign a defensive tackle, just not Grover Stewart. That can't happen until March 13th. The Cowboys today are re-signing defensive tackle, and it's not Jonathan Hankins. It's Carl Davis. Yeah, oof, that takes a lot of wind out of my sails. Carl Davis is back after 2023. He was with the Cowboys in 2023. I don't know if you guys remember him, but Carl Davis spent the back end, the second half of the 2023 season on the Cowboys practice squad. Yay. We just re-signed a practice squad player. And he was there since the middle of the year last year.
Hey, that's a Super Bowl move there.
That's an all-in move. And then, of course, when Jonathan Hankins got injured towards the end of the year, Carl Davis was elevated in all 3 games he was gone. All 3 elevations were used. The Cowboys must have liked whatever he had. But either way, he ain't a starter. The Cowboys signed him as their big all-in move, I think. I don't know. He accounted for 3 tackles.
In case of emergency, break glass.
Exactly. He's coming back to compete to a 53-man spot. He'll probably practice squad if the Cowboys like him enough. He only had, in 3 games, he had 3 tackles. He's 6'5", 335 pounds. And that's great. But he's big and all that stuff, but he ain't the guy you need. You need Grover Stewart. I don't know. We're not going to go get him. So right now we got basically the 3rd round pick of the Ravens of 2015. This 3rd rounder, he was drafted by the Ravens, Carl Davis. We, of course, again, had him on our squad last year, on the practice squad. We used up his elevations, and then he went back to the practice squad. So when you look at his career, he spent time. He was out of Iowa. Again, he was drafted out of Iowa in 2015. He spent time with the Browns. The Colts was the last team he was with. The Jaguars, the Patriots, and Seahawks. He has 68 combined tackles in 19 NFL starts. It's not too good. And again, I want to make sure I reiterate this, but without, Dave is going to compete in camp for one of these 53-man spots, probably going to end up being cut and re-signed to the practice squad. But Jonathan Hankins is still a free agent. Again, he's our own free agent. We can re-sign him. We re-sign his third-string backup. That's what's incredible to me. So that's the Cowboys' only move, signing a practice squad nose tackle. Now, sticking with the defense here, baby. Micah Parsons. He had that fifth-year option, not tag. Fifth-year option. We talked about that the other night. But I want to say one thing. It was not picked by the Cowboys. It was picked by the CBA, guys. Fifth-year options, the tender is determined not by the player. Not by the player, not by the coach, not by the front office. It's determined by the collective bargaining agreement and the rules in there. A team cannot choose the position if a player is used at multiple spots. It goes to the CBA and they decide. So his fifth-year option and the position he's designated by was determined by the NFL, by the league. So it's not a Cowboy move on this. It was not like the Cowboys trying to save money.
Here we are sitting here thinking the Cowboys, were quote unquote doing the right thing. Well, not to say they were ever trying to do the wrong thing. Just
it was out of their hands, right?
Yeah.
So again, that option has actually officially not been exercised yet, but it's going to happen, guys. It's just not happened official yet. When it happens, we'll tell you, but it's going to happen. Is the point, that fifth-year option? The Cowboys, again, are not the ones who decided what position he is classified as. Is the NFL? Basically, guys, are decided by NFL Management Council. But that is described in the CBA that they make the decisions. That's why it goes to the CBA. So for Micah Parsons, fifth-year option at linebacker, $24 million. He did not get fifth-year option there. He got the fifth-year option at defensive end, which is $21.3 million. He saved almost $3 million there. If Micah wants to, he can file a grievance, but not against the Cowboys or Jerry Jones. He files a grievance against the NFL and the NFLPA about his designation. He can do that. Parsons can do this. His agent can have him do this. But in the reality, this has been determined already. I think he'll take this. With smiling, with a smile on his face, because now the next time he's going to be tagged or he has to be designated for a position, it's already set in stone, and he wants to be an edge because edges get paid more after that fifth-year option on tags, on salary, just general salary. They get a lot more than linebackers. So it's a weird setup, but I just wanted to clarify the details of the fifth-year option, and maybe some confusion might have been there the other day, when we had discussed this. Now, just want to, again, I'm leaving the defense up, but who else was in there? And, back at it, working out, doing their thing. And again, I don't know if Zimmer's behind this or not, because there's some guys that are not going to be Cowboys anymore. The Cowboys defense is back in the working out together for the 2024 season. And who were the guys involved? Jaron Kearse, Jordan Lewis, which two guys don't have contracts with the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. But then Malik Hooker and Tyrus Sweet, who are with the Cowboys, they are working out with Built For It, whose CEO is Kate. What's his name? The guy that had the infection on his leg, and he got, what was his name? He played for us in the defensive back. Oh, man, I can't believe I forgot his name. You guys will probably remember who it is. He had issues. His name is, I forgot his name.
I'm blanking out, I have to admit. I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's K Black Simba is his name on there. But when I hear the name, you'll all know it. He was our defensive back for a safety defensive back for a couple of years. I think he had a blood situation on his leg, and he had to kind of retire, something like that. So, but anyway, I guess we'll figure it out one day here. But anyways, it's his old
Kavon Frazier.
Kavon Frazier. That's his workout CEO. He's the CEO of that workout studio, Built For It. So again, all four guys there, all guys, former Cowboys last year, of course. Like I said, Tyrus Sweet and Malik Hooker, still Cowboys under contract, but both Jordan Lewis and Jaron Kearse are key free agents that are going to be hitting the open market. They're out there working hard as well. So the last two things to discuss here is on the offensive side, believe it or not. So we're going to start with Dak Prescott, and you see this on the title. Of course, he's on the front cover, eyeballing Jerry Jones eye to eye. We'll talk about what that means in a minute. But first, We got Jason Renfro dropping $1.56 holler in the house.
Woo, with the classic Go Cowboys.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Jason.
Much love to Jason Renfro, who is up on that board, trying to keep moving on up as he always is doing here. And he's always representing that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything, brother. Appreciate you again. Thank you for the drop. Let me give that drop a little heart. And we got ourselves Snug X, who's a member here. Thanks to one of our fantastic family members dropping the gifted memberships. What was his monthly message?
Shout out Pete P, Scott Yak, Jay Slade, House Nelson, Highlight Haven, Chris D, and my bro Scorpio. That is all.
Hell yeah. I see the man in the house, McLovin. Much love to McLovin. Yeah, no Biden brain over here, and thankfully no Trump brain either. We have to say that for the After Dark. And again, I'm taking no After Dark tonight or tomorrow, so I know Snug's gonna be happy. I know McLovin will be seeing him on Saturday, Sunday, one of those days, maybe both days on this weekend, on the After Dark side of things. Appreciate you in here, Mr. McLovin. Of course, you're more than welcome to hit that thumbs up here. You're part of the family. You're representing the board all over the place, and you're in the lead once again. So he's heading to that, trying to get to the record books on our channel. It's got a little way to go, but he's heading that direction. Appreciate you, brother. And I know he likes the Dolphins, but we say go Cowboys here.
Oh, I have to read this comment real quick.
Yes,
Revelation journalist said, "So people who go into the grave are always going all in." So look, again, I don't know how much proximity to death has changed Jerry's mindset, because by that rate, you think like 10, 15 years ago, he would have started doing some shit differently. But what do I know? So Mike Aldana said, so it's the CBA's fault. So, I mean, yeah, basically, like we said,
players and owners agreed to that.
At first we thought it was actually a Cowboy thing, but I have to admit, this is a great move there by, the NFLPA or whoever the heck thought. I'm just saying, whoever the heck, thought to include that in there. Great job, because it did come in quite handy there.
It's one way of have no animosity between owners and teams, GMs and players.
Yeah,
right?
And like I said, it just outlines everything clearly, which is the easiest way to prevent any kind of bad feelings, right?
Hell yeah. Now, as we're rolling it out here, so here's the update on Dak Prescott and his contract, guys. There is none. I hate saying it like that, but
the update is there is no update.
Jane Slater spoke about this in full kind of detail yesterday, and basically Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys have had 0.0 contract talks. The date that she said is possible, August. We're talking about training camp now. So she said, quote, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys have had no talks at all on a contract extension, and she added that she added this, however, that it's unlikely to be a cause for alarm. She said she could foresee a deal coming to fruition closer to August. So now we're talking about July, basically. Both sides have talked about the confidence in getting something done. We heard Stephen Jones saying, we're confident, we're going to get it done, not worried. Dak also saying, I'm confident, not going to worry about it. There's no urgency of a timeline right now. That's all we're missing here. But it seems to get done. It's going to get done, so don't worry.
It seems like all the urgency is more on, I don't want to say our side, like we're the ones driving this, you know what I mean? But more from the fan side, let's just say. Right? Like the fans are, there's a chunk of the fans that are more eager than obviously our front office to get a deal done with Dak and kind of get that money situation.
I'm going to tell you right now, if there's any quarterbacks that get paid big money before Dak does, it's going to raise Dak's contract money up. That's the only bad thing. If the Cowboys are going to keep him, they get it done now. It's smart. If they're not sure, I guess don't do it. But if you're sure and you're not getting a deal done, then the Cowboys are stupid. The front office is dumb.
I guess they're not sure then.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. But, we've done dumb shit before. So, again, all of this stuff, the timeline's up in the air. She said it's going to come to fruition closer to August. So when will an extension happen? She believes August is the potential month. But remember, we're already in Oxnard by then. To me, the Cowboys should get this done before Oxnard, before training camp. The Cowboys have gotten a lot of contract extensions done with players while in training camp. It's unfortunately true. So that could happen for Dak. Could be the latest guy to get the contract done in Oxnard. But we'll have to see what happens. I don't think the Cowboys should play games with this. They should make a decision one way or the other. And the whole point to me is having a firm deadline for the Joneses and Dak to bring to the table and have discussions and debate and discussions about what deal they can get for each other before the regular season begins. And I say even before training camp begins, to limit distractions. Pretty plain and simple in my mind when it comes to this. So that's the Dak Prescott update. I got a little bit more as well. But we got first Mr. Juan Carlos in the house, dropping that $1, $2, $3 holler.
Oh, thank you, Juan Carlos. You know what he said?
Hit me with it. What did he say?
Go Cowboys.
Oh, hell yeah. I see it.
Ooh.
I see the super sticker.
Appreciate you. Much love. By the way, love the profile picture. I just, a little kitty cat. Always adorable.
Much love to Juan Carlos. Appreciate you.
By the way, he's rocking out with that Go Cowboys in case.
Oh, hell yeah. And I know that you should get his jersey anytime now.
Yeah,
so it's on the way.
I know the Mosh Man's expecting them any day now, thankfully. And once he gets them, it's basically just, like a day or two until we get them. So
exactly. So we're bringing them to you guys. To those couple of people that still are owed jerseys, we're bringing them to you shortly. As soon as we get them, we ship them. So thank you guys for being patient on that. Now, and much love to Juan Carlos, who, by the way, with all these little drops and tidbits falling down out the sky, Jason's down to 69 points in the stream, boss. So that's the Dak Prescott discussion. I will say this, Jane Slater also kind of added about how they would maybe go about certain things at running back. I'll explain that in a minute. But after adding the running back kind of thoughts, she also said that everything still remains. It lays upon the Dak Prescott extension, which is like the piece that the Cowboys have to kind of get done before they can spend money in free agency. Now, again, I don't think you have to get the extension done now. You hit the button for a restructure, and you can go into the free agency with a lot of money. You can get whoever you want. So that's not a problem. To me, I understand if they don't get the deal done now. You still got more than enough to play with for free agency. They must do that restructure before the 13th of March. At the same time, though, to me, Dak Prescott, to get the extension done, that's something I think that needs to be done, like I said already, closer towards, at the latest, before they go to Oxnard, before the end of July. That's what I'm saying with that. So she's saying basically he's the first piece that has to move before any other pieces move, which is the excuse that Joneses always use to blame the player for holding up shit. It's really them holding up shit, guys. So, again, this is reported by Michael Gelkin early this offseason that the front office could free up around $18 million with converting his salary into a signing bonus. And by doing that, that's a restructure. You already got $20 million to play with, just off the bat. On top of all the other cuts and moves like Gallup and other guys, we'll have $30, $40 million to play with in free agency, even without an extension, just with a restructure and a couple cuts. Dak, in the meantime, took a visit to the Gene and Jerry Jones Family Hope Lodge for Colon Cancer Awareness Month. Of course, his mother passed away from that. Dak took time to have dinner and meet with numerous guests, the power community. He feels, and I hope so too, we can beat cancer together. And then I'm going to go back. That's what Dak is doing in the meantime. He's doing his thing. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones doing their thing. Jane Slater reporting on all these things. And then we move over to Tony Pollard. Finish up tonight with Tony Pollard. You know why? Because Jane Slater gave a little update on running backs and how the Cowboys are going to take a look at this. Listen to this, baby. Jane Slater gave some nuggets where the Cowboys are going to approach the running back position this offseason. And I want to make a point here, guys, because she said the Cowboys are very, very interested in Texas running back in this draft, the top running back rated, even with a torn MCL, Jonathan Brooks from Texas. This is one of the guys they like. And when they say they like it, it usually means they like them. A running back is a third-round prospect, the 70-something pick right now. That is the guy the Cowboys are kind of leaning on in the war room discussions that they're getting in the 50 days away from the draft. The Cowboys are looking at a running back in the third round, and Texas running back Jonathan Brooks, if he's there, the Cowboys will draft him. That's the belief. So it's exciting to see how it goes because there's never a dull moment in Dallas. But that move, drafting a running back like him, if he's healthy. And then the other word of the day today, Tony Pollard is open for taking less money with the Cowboys to return to Dallas. He's going to test free agency, but then he wants to go back and maybe work something out with the Cowboys because we got, holy shit, we got Jeremy Bramlett, the Bram Man, back in the house with a 1-0-0. Is this the drop of the year once again? That's a tie, right?
Matches it, yeah.
Tied with Zach Luna for the drop of the year. Jeremy Bramlett, the Bram Man.
With the Bram fam. Woo! Shout out to you.
And with that drop, maybe $100 holler. I want to hear what he said, but he's right now just 22 behind Mr. McLovin. Woo, man, that's a big jump. He's in second place all by himself. What did the Bram Man have to say? The fam. Much love to him. I'll never forget the day that he was on this chat with us, 4 or 5 years ago?
His son was born.
And his son was born live basically when we were live. So never forget that. And what did the man say? What did Jeremy Bramlett say? Much love to the man.
He said, hey, family, it's been a while. How have you all been?
It has been some while. Babe, why don't you let them know? I mean, we wish we could be better when it comes to the Cowboys.
Yeah,
we didn't get no wins there.
We've been here.
Yeah,
thankfully, we're, all good. A little bit surprised with how things turned out for our Cowboys, I think. I think all of us were.
Yeah. But,
like I said, our expectations were very different heading into this past season. So,
yeah.
But thankfully,
family good, health-wise good. Everything's
dog
so good.
is good.
Knock on wood, everything's good so far. I hope the same for you and yours, brother.
Yes.
Hope everything is going well with you and your family, your loved ones. And
yes,
by the way,
and I hope little baby Lee,
yes.
if I'm not mistaken, I hope
Dallas Lee, right?
He's continuing to grow big and strong.
Yes. Again.
I remember that he was named partially after Sean Lee. That
yes,
I do remember.
Christian Lee was the.
There you go.
Yes. So appreciate him. And by the way, with that drop, he's in second place overall, trying to challenge the Dominator, which is McLovin right now, who's a Dolphin fan. Been repping these boards as a Dolphin fan. But Jeremy Bramlett's now in second place, right behind him. And I got to add something else, baby. He just took over the stream boss from Jason Renfro.
That's a very good point.
Big takeover there. Let me update the board, maybe hit up a couple comments here, if you could, while we, finish the Tony Pollard portion of things, and that's tonight. That'll be a wrap up for tonight.
Well, it's not Tony Pollard related. It is Dak Prescott related, and that was the thing you just touched on previously.
Of course, you can hit that up. Any comment?
Mike Aldana said the clown show is driving up their own price on Dak's contract.
Yeah.
So, again, they're doing it to themselves. You know it.
They're playing games, and this is what they did last time on Dak's contract. Remember what they did last time? The same damn thing. Same damn thing. It's incredible.
Now, this is a Tony Pollard adjacent comment. At least. Bad Intentions said, the perfect move.
Oh, there he is.
Sorry about that.
Is that whoa, we got more than one then, baby. We got a 5 on it.
We got more than that.
What? What's going on?
Oh my God, it broke the stream.
The sound. Jeremy Bramlett. I remember once he broke it, and he comes back and breaks it again. He has just taken. I think he's just taken over the overall board, baby.
I think so.
And he's the leader in the gifting board. The man, Jeremy Bramlett. Read out. How many people did he gift?
10.
What?
Gifted memberships.
Holy fuck! The man, Jeremy Bramlett, comes in. And he don't waste any time.
Thank you so much, Bram Man. Let me shout out
everyone in this
Brandon
list.
J, West Texas, Stephen White, House Nelson, Marco Seppian, Spock, Can You Save Me? Joe Ziegler, A1, Grimbot, and Justin D.
And the place to be, man. Much love, much appreciation. The Bram Man,
and
Jeremy
drop
Bramlett.
him if you got him.
He is now officially 100% in first place on the overall board by a little tidbit.
Yeah.
Over McLovin, he'll be dropping after dark on Saturday, Sunday. But the Bram Man is currently in first place overall. McLovin's first place on the Cash App side, but Jeremy's in first place on the overall and first place and the Stream Boss and first place on the gifting board. What else can I say? The guy's called Dominator. He's dominating the boards right now with just a 1-2 punch just like that. Man, thank you so much. And again, this is one of the best ways to help out the channel. You're giving love to the family in the chat.
Yeah, we always appreciate showing the love, but when you gift the membership, so that's how others obviously join in on the fun. Yes. And like Juan Carlos is, here with his membership, repping it. Almost said rocking it and repping it, and kind of came out as wrecking it. So
yeah, so Jeremy, the Brand Man, I hope you and yours are doing well. I know the family's happier now in the chat because they just got a lot of people in that navy blue crew. And hey, drop them if you got them, right? Those emojis and stuff. Appreciate you, the Brand Man.
I was gonna say I'm rolling back a tiny bit here. This is a comment I was about to read. I said it was Tony Pollard adjacent. Bad Intentions said, the perfect move will be a running back. You'll be doing Dak Prescott a disservice if you have to throw the ball 40 times a game. Control on the clock is key. Now, here's my ultimate question, because this is kind of the discussion Mr. MCF and I had behind the scenes, not directly, but like I said, adjacently. How much do you actually believe our Cowboys are going to run the ball this upcoming season?
That's right? You get the best running back if you don't run it that much.
It doesn't matter how much we do or do not want Dak to throw, right? How much is McCarthy actually going to run the rock? Because I can tell you right now, I feel like the answer is less than we did this year. Don't know why, and let's say it's not. Let's say it's about the same. Is that still where we want to be? Especially now, like, again, so let's bring it back to the Pollard discussion. Does Pollard being back change your opinion on that at all, or vice versa? Does the thought of Pollard not being here, make you feel some type of way one way or the other? So, because I know for me, like I said, I think I like Pollard coming back. I think it makes a lot of sense for the right price, and if he's open to it clearly, let's get it done. But Pollard alone is not going to get the job done. He will need help. You will have to find another running back to pair with him, the guy who will be taking those hits and pounding the rock in those super short yardage situations, things like that. So find yourself, a sturdy, bigger running back that can take some of those hits and actually get you some of those, crunch yards, then why not?
No, I'm going to talk. I have a couple of thoughts about this in a minute when we talk
Mike
about.
Aldana.
I'll say
actually, before I read his comment, lost in translation. Shout out to you. Yeah, dropping that clown emoji. You already know. Appreciate you. But Mike Aldana said, "Are we committed to a running game?" And that's my point. Key. I do not know. Based off of previous evidence, as far as McCarthy specifically, I can't say we are. And based off of just the commentary that we've heard so far and the direction that it seems like this team is moving, like I said, doesn't exactly inspire me to believe that we're going to be investing in the run game or just in general in our run as much
running
as
the ball in our
would like.
Running the ball in the scheme. I think that's So I'm gonna actually give you one other reason why I think the Cowboys could be overspending at running back, but I do want to shout out another time. I got to shout out the brand man, Jeremy Bramlett, who is trying to check that top spot in the Cash App side with a $40 holler. He said, "Go Cowboys." Woo. Much love to the brand man, Jeremy Bramlett.
He's trying to have like the full, complete takeover on all sides of the board.
100% the stream boss. He's the leader in the gifting board. He is the overall leader right now. 3 out of the 4 spots. It's tough to catch McLovin. I think he's like 82 back. So I guess I'd be 83 back, officially 83 to break a tie with McLovin on the Cash App side. But the brand man he's 83 back from that. You never know with Jeremy Bramlett. He is a baller. And again, I hope all the best for you. I know he's out there trucking, doing his thing. His family, lovely group of people here. Huge Cowboy fans repping that star for everything. And he's been a family member here at MCF since the beginning, an OG. So much love to the brand man, Jeremy Bramlett. Appreciate you and yours. And hey, man, 3 out of 4 takeover already today on this board. Try to clinch all the spots by Sunday night when we wrap it up on Sunday, give everybody a chance to get the last drops in on Sunday night. Then we crown the champions after the stream. So thank you, the brand man, always rocking that star for everything. And let me just go back and talk about Tony Pollard as we finish this up. Pollard's going to take. He's willing to. The word is, Pollard's willing to take less money. I know you said we need another guy with him, and I agree 100%. That's why I mentioned that running back rookie from Texas, because that could be the second guy for the Cowboys. That would be it's an upgrade, right? To me, it would be an upgrade from going from someone like Rico Dowdle as their number 2, and making him the best running back of this draft as your number 2, giving him more snaps than Rico Dowdle. So that means you get less snaps for Tony Pollard, even if he's quote unquote your starter. But it's a balanced kind of game, and you use the guy you need to in those some games. Maybe the rookie will get more carries. Maybe some games Pollard gets more carries or touches. It goes on who you are, who you're going up against. But again, I go back to I don't know if I want to waste a high draft pick on a guy who will be used sparingly in this offensive McCarthy scheme. So a person with knowledge of Pollard's thinking told the Dallas Morning News the former 4th-round pick is open to returning back to Dallas even if the contract from another team is slightly higher than whatever the Cowboys offer. So again, this is a team official that obviously the Cowboy team official, also spoke to the Dallas Morning News on the condition that and he stays anonymous.
Okay.
Because of the sensitivity of the contract talks. But this guy said, from the front office people for the Cowboys, expects Tony Pollard to get as many offers as possible and then come into Dallas to talk. So that whole thing about how much will he get paid, that'll happen only after free agency hits.
It almost sounds like he's waiting so that he can take that to the Cowboys and almost negotiate higher pay for himself.
Well, and the Cowboys organization themselves are saying that that's what's happening. And that's what he's going to be doing.
I know. I mean, like I said, I don't think, if you take that reaction, it doesn't sound like they're all that scared by what he's going to find in free agency and what other teams are going to be offering him. So.
And that's my point. I think he knows. He knows he's going to be, whatever the Cowboys offer is going to be close to what he's going to be offered outside. That's what I think he knows.
My question to you is, and you also, the general chat, everybody here chilling with us, what amount of money do you think that Tony Pollard would be okay with staying in Dallas, right? Like, let's say a team like the Jets offers him $5 million and we offer him $4 million. Like, is that $1 million enough for him to say, hey, I'm out of here? Like, what's the range?
Right.
Because overall, as far as, like, I can't see him getting...
I think over $1 million is a safe.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't really see him getting more than, like, $1 million worth of difference as far as, like, any team. Like, I can't see a team paying him, like, $2 million more than, like, his next best offer. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
So
it's going to be hard. Yeah, I think it's, if the Cowboys, the Cowboys can offer him $1 million. Mm-hmm. We do here with Stephen Jones, and other teams give him $3-4 million, he's going somewhere else. But if the Cowboys give him $3 or $4 million, and he gets $5 million somewhere else, $4.5 million, he'll stay in Dallas. I think that's kind of the way I feel he'll do. And listen, I'm going to talk about why Tony Pollard is not a bad pickup, but first I got to talk about why Jeremy Bramlett's the man. The man dropped 85 on it in the Cash App, officially in first place in the Cash App now by a couple of bucks over McLovin, who's been dominating for over a month on these boards. We got the Bram Man.
Hold up, wait a minute, what streak?
Now, I do know that, I'm going to say this because I know it happens. I know that he's on our After Dark, McLovin. And make sure you sub up to that, Mr. Bramlett, if you want to hear some other discussions. But After Dark show, we have some drops through there, and McLovin runs that side of things. It all trickles through this. So I'm just going to say, I know McLovin on Saturday, Sunday, he's going to start piling on stuff, trying to catch you. So right now, the Bram Man is the top man on our boards. We'll see if he can hold back a Dolphin fan from retaking the titles here in the Cash App and the overall board. We'll see. But the man right now is a full Dallas Cowboy takeover. The Bram Man, 100 points fully loaded. First place on the overall board. First place in the overall in the Cash App board. The Stream Boss. He's got everything. NDM Boogie in the house, giving his monthly membership message.
That's right.
What did he say?
16 months representing.
Hell
He
yeah.
said Cowboys fan for life.
Hell yeah. Go Cowboys for life.
Awesome. MCF emojis
Hell
there
yeah.
representing. Of
Drop
course, drop them if you got them.
If you got them. Much love to NDM Boogie, who's also on the board. And now Bramlett, I guess Jeremy's not full. He was a minute ago, like, this is the fullest loader you can get on this stream. He's 1 point away now from being fully loaded, again. But the Bram Man up there, much love to NDM Boogie. Appreciate you all here dropping your thoughts and your views on our Cowboys. And, of course, your love as well, which definitely helps the channel, helps us going, and keeps things, on the nightly on MCF. So, Pollard, as we finish this up, Tony Pollard, the reason he'd be an excellent re-signing for the Cowboys, if he's willing to return, not on an $8 million deal, that'd be a bad deal. But he gets on a deal that is a favorable deal to the Cowboys. Pollard said he started to feel like himself around Week 11 against the Panthers. From that point on, from that point on to the end of the season, among all running backs with a minimum of 20% of attempts, he was first in the running grade. He was number 1 running back in the NFL after Week 11. The Cowboys know this. He had a 90.8 rushing grade. Mm-hmm. He had he only had like 8 missed tackles the first half of the year. The second half of the year, he caused 34 missed tackles. At that portion of the year, the last half of the year, he was second best in making guys miss.
That's pretty impressive.
Yards after contact, 371 yards after contact. That is 9th best in the second half of the season. And rushing yards, he had 476 yards the second half of the season, which was 12th best in the NFL. So a top 10 running back on a favorable deal. If you use him right, he wasn't perfect. There were glimpses of him finally hitting his stride after week 11. But like Jerry Jones said at the Combine, this is my key. This is why I say it's not just about the offers or how you use them, if you balance them out with another guy. To me, the big deal is the offensive line. The offensive run blocking. Jerry Jones even said this at the Combine. The offensive line has to share the blame for the poor run blocking and the poor running game we had on offense, which he believes, Jerry Jones said, it hurt Pollard's performance. I think that's why the Cowboys are interested in bringing Pollard back. Either way, if the Cowboys reload and retool the offensive line, a healthier Tony Pollard and a two-back system is what will work better in 2024. And that other back could be Texas running back Jonathan Brooks, because the Cowboys are really looking at him. Second or third round potential pick for the Cowboys, Texas Longhorn with a torn MCL or ACL, I think. Jonathan Brooks is the Cowboys are really interested in him. They are, quote, very interested in him. So you might if they go for the top one of the top running backs in the third round, they re-sign Pollard on the cheap after getting away from that injury from last January in the playoffs. That is how the Cowboys may roll. But like I said, there's one more piece of this puzzle, and that's offensive line, baby. You know why? The run blocking was not great. You got to note that the running game for the Cowboys was not up to standard for the Cowboys last year. I think the scheme is part of it. I think McCarthy is to blame, but also offensive line was an issue. Listen to how the Cowboys' starting offensive line rated as run blockers through PFF. Left tackle Tyron Smith, 29th in the NFL. Tyler Smith run blocking, 7th in the NFL, which is good. Tyler Biadasz, 16th in the NFL at center. Right guard Zach Martin, 28th in the NFL at guard. Not good for Zach Martin. And Terrence Steele, 57th in run blocking. This guy was fantastic in run blocking. 57th? That's that torn ACL that he came back on, played on. Hopefully this year he's better. But this is the main reason why Tony Pollard and Zeke and whoever's out there running had issues running the ball. The offensive line's not doing that great at run blocking, and the scheme is not fit for like a consistent run game kind of system. Hold up. We got a super sticker from the man Jeremy Bramlett. The Bram man. Hell yeah. With a $10 holler, and he adds to his lead, adds to his total, and he's now perfect once again. 100 points on the Stream Boss. The top spot across all four parts of our board. Currently in the lead on all four of them this week. Much love. What did he say, baby?
He said, "Go Cowboys."
Oh, and I'm looking at the super sticker. Also, much love.
Yes. Lots of love.
Well, I appreciate you, Jeremy Bramlett. We need to get love to this offensive line to a run block. So, again, you're seeing these rankings, guys. At tackle, Tyron Smith and Terrence Steele, 29th and 57th. At guard, Tyler Smith, fantastic at 7th best. Zach Martin, 28th. And at center, Biadasz, 16th. We need to get better at run blocking. And if Tyron Smith leaves, where do the Cowboys turn at left tackle? Baby, this is unfortunately the worst part of this whole situation. Because what I'm hearing from multiple sources, baby, that if Tyron Smith leaves, the Cowboys have pointed out that they have big-time faith in their interior linemen. And they specifically mentioned two guys, TJ Bass and Brock Hoffman. So you know what that means? According to the front office, if they need to move into the starting lineup in 2024, we have confidence in them. We're back. You know what's going to be shown on the screen, guys. When you hear that, it's clown show. Plain and simple. They're pumping up Brock Hoffman undrafted, TJ Bass undrafted.
Just visualize in front of me.
The Cowboys' offensive line development program is still alive and well. If they can find a way to add Matt Waletzko, Awesome Richards, and upgrade those guys, one of those guys, they can lift their confidence. The factory is going. They got some good backups, but let's not fool ourselves. You'd have Waletzko, Richards, Bass, and Hoffman. Great backups, not great starters. Maybe for a game or two, one of those guys, Bass, can do it. You don't want these guys starting. The Joneses are going to make these guys start, and if they do that, I don't want Tony Pollard. I don't want to spend any money on a running back. I don't want to draft a running back. I just say let it go. We'll run with fucking Deuce Vaughn. I don't give a shit. Just don't waste your time with a running back if you're not going to fix the offensive line at all. If you're going to use TJ Bass and Brock Hoffman, you're not going to go forward on that offensive line run blocking. So if that's what the Cowboys do, you're wasting your time in a run game. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. So What do you think, baby, on that side of things, looking at these numbers? And TJ, the confidence they have, the front office and Bass and Brock Hoffman almost makes them want their fucking titties to fucking get hard because they want to start these guys.
I have to be honest. Maybe Jerry and I have different definitions of all in. That's all I'm going to say, because nothing about any of those moves or those two guys inspires confidence in our O-line or makes me think that we're going all in.
Well, we know it's not going to be all in. Jerry Jones basically admitted that. And come on, I mean, are you surprised that TJ Bass and Brock Hoffman are their guys now?
I'm not necessarily surprised. That still leaves a lot of room for a lot of different emotions, mainly just disappointment. Like I said,
despair.
I expected better, and that's why I'm disappointed. Because again, there's only so many things that I know our Cowboys are willing to or even open to changing. But I thought this was one of those few things that was a little bit more...
What happened all in?
I don't know. I don't want to say universal, but for lack of a better word, I thought this was just one of those things that was a little more universal. You know, just widely...
Oh, baby.
We believed and accepted. I don't know.
We are all... I mean, you and I both kind of pre-discussed this a little bit. We're not happy with this, but it's not surprising. So, all in, this is the Jerry Jones all in. Exactly what we friggin' expected. What does the chat think as we wrap this up? What does the chat think about this topic? And then we'll do the shout-outs, baby.
Of course.
I think this ugly-ass clown show off the screen. There you go.
Like
hit him up.
said, Jerryisms.
Jerryisms. Non-stop. Non-stop Jerryisms.
So, 28 Alice, take it easy. Much love, of course.
Appreciate you,
Jeremy
Alice in the house.
Bramlett, the Bram man.
Hell yeah.
In the house.
The man who took over every part of the board, took it away from McLovin tonight. That's the way. You got to take the Dolphins down. That's what you do it, Jeremy. Appreciate you, brother, once again.
Brandon J. said, can the Cowboys sign Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
They could. Not yet. They have to wait till the 13th. He's a free agent. But he is one of the many, many running backs out there that are available.
NDM Boogie, much love to you. Smodius in the house saying, I really would like to see Tony Pollard return.
I think every day seems to be a better chance that it happens. I'm going to be honest. Not that I'm the most crazy about that. If they get him for a good price, a good deal, and use another running back with him and upgrade the offensive line, then I'm happy. Then I'm down with that. Then I'm down with the Tony Pollard move.
Let me see. Lost in translation, much love, saying, it doesn't seem like we're committed to it.
It definitely does not. Definitely no all-in commitment. And I don't know what we're doing. Getting rid of Tyron Smith, and now we got to run the ball better? I don't know. I don't know about that.
So, no, let me keep on rolling here. Juan Carlos, have a great night. Of course, all the lucky gifted membership winners,
much
right?
love to Bram, man, for making that happen. First place across all the boards. I can't believe I'm saying that, but the Bram man came in and just said, I'm in here, taking over.
I'm in it. Let me see. Texas Twister, take it easy. Much love to you. McLovin, representing, of course.
He is still the king, though. He's still the sponsor of the week, McLovin.
Yeah.
So he's holding it down.
Jason Renfro, much love.
Of course.
We have Revelation Journalist. Let me see. Bobby Garrett. One of the superior Garretts.
Hell yeah. We have many superior Garretts than old Jason Garrett.
Let me see. Jesus Saves. Drums and Cowboys. Much love to you, Drums.
Yeah.
Let me see. Philly, even you. Hold on there, Rodriguez, representing. Much love. Yeah, that's more or less as far back as it lets me go, at least on my side. So,
all right, well, that's a wrap here, baby. We had another good one, another great stream. I think a lot of great information in the 90 minutes we were on for 2 days here. Just 2 days in a row. We got them in under 90. A lot of great comments, a lot of love dropped. Appreciate the Brand Man and everybody else who did drop the love tonight and last night. You know, amazing games. Skeptical Fan, Alice, Grateful Nomad, McLovin, Lincoln Kane, JD from DC, Bootzilla, Dwayne Broussard, Brandon J, Jason Renfro, Juan Carlos, and Jeremy Bramlett with the takeover. Appreciate all you guys dropping the love, the support. Can't do this without you guys' input and on everything here. But now as we, ramp it up here and ramp out of here, we will be off tomorrow. Very busy schedule tomorrow for myself and the wife. So you'll see us back here over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. You'll also see us MCF After Dark, maybe on a Saturday, maybe on Sunday, maybe on both days. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, we'll see you guys for in the weekend and Sunday night. Saturday night. We'll see you back here on MCF. In the middle of the weekend, talking about anything we missed, for Friday, and of course everything on Saturday. We'll wrap it up for you on Saturday and Sunday. We'll crown some champions here, all right, on MCF. So we'll see you then, baby. Before we can get out of here for the night, remind them why we do this each and every night on YouTube, on this channel, on My Cowboys Family. Why do we do this?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything.
Hell yeah, over everything. Here, win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. On this channel, we rep that star over everything. My Cowboys Family for over almost 7 years, guys. Yes, the brand man, almost 7 years doing this thing. Never forget, the number one thing here, now, and forever, as always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. We got 7 coming up on here on MCF. Can the Cowboys get that 6? Thank you all for dropping the knowledge in the chat all night long. All night. Again, can't do this without your guys' input and information there on things. Also, guys, can't do this without your drops of love from above. That's the way it goes, guys. You can't, when it comes to the drops of knowledge, the love, the support, we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts. On that note, it is time to officially clock out for the night, drop out for the night, relock and reload. Not for tomorrow, but for the weekend on Saturday night for our next show. Before we can do all that, baby, what do we got to do before we drop out for the night?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. That beat's been dropped. It's been dropped faster and harder than beep. Anyways, guys, thank you again for rolling with us. You could be anywhere in the whole internet. You got guys in here like Mike Aldana, Brandon James, Hot Boy, Asmodeus, even Snug X could be anywhere he wants to be, but he's here with us, My Cowboys Family, because you know he loves us. Appreciate everybody in the house. Hitting that like, subscribing that bell, but we wrapped up another 2 days worth of Cowboy news, info, and updates right here on MCF in a Cowboys chat. Yes, yes, yes. Whether it was Dalton Schultz talking shits, number 98, Carl Davis, not Hankins, not anybody, not the guys we're looking for in there. Pollard coming back, maybe. Steven's thinking about it. And you got Dak's contract, you got Jerry Jones, they're eyeballing each other. When is this going to get done? Maybe before August, hopefully. Question mark. We talked about it and more right here on My Cowboys Family, here at MCF, where it's about that navy blue, that silver too. Oh yeah, that star over everything. Never ever forget the number one thing right here, My Cowboys Family. Thank you all. Appreciate everybody in the house tonight joining us for this one. Don't forget to hit that like button. It helps the analytics, so make sure you hit that like for the stream. Hit subscribe for the channel. Keep it growing. Almost at 34,200 plus family members. Keep it growing. That notification bell, make sure you put it to all videos. Hit that bell and go to all videos. Follow us on My Cowboy, at My Cowboys Family, on all social media, Twitter, X, etc. All the descriptions and information all the information is in the description down below. Appreciate you all, guys. Have a great night. Stay safe. Have a great Friday into your weekend. We'll see you on Saturday for the weekend shows. Take care, peace, and never ever forget, Go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat.